Good morning. This is Debra Cox, and it's Talk Thursday. You may hear me swatting a few gnats in the background, but I know you've heard the birds at the pond. It's the sun has not really come out yet. It's hopefully going to come out. We've had some rain, which the farmers needed desperately, but we're gonna get through this for sure. So it's exciting to see what's going on in and around the area. So today I want to take time as we get ready to end up the month of May this week with Mental Health Awareness Month. And I want to share some tips from Mellow Doodles and some things that I can enlighten you with about how to help somebody with struggling with their mental health, because the good Lord knows there are a lot of people out there struggling with different issues. It may be health, it may be finances, it may be other family members, it may be grief. There's lots of things going on in the world today, and we just need to take it step by step. And as I would say, fully rely on God. I'm a firm believer that if your mental health is not in check, then you're going to have issues with your physical as well as your spiritual. So if we can get all three in check, then it's going to be make for a good day, a good week, and even a good year. So, but here are some ways to help, and I'm throwing in some things because I've helped a few folks along the way, and it's vital, very important. You know, one thing is listen, and listen intently, not to answer, but to understand what this person is going through, because you just never know in life what they're being thrown. They could be, dealing with someone that's on their deathbed. They could be dealing with financial issues. They could be dealing with other issues, family matters. They could be struggling with their own health. So there's lots of reasons. And, we just need to do what we can to help others. And that in the long run can help us as well. But listen, and like I said, listen intently. It's important this day and time, because sometimes we don't take the time to listen. We listen long enough to answer, and that's not the right thing to do. And God's given me the gift of gab, but He's also given me the gift to listen. And I'm so thankful for that. And, sometimes you just have to check in on folks. You have to start conversations sometimes. Sometimes those conversations might be started by other people, the ones that are struggling, that may reach out to you because they know you will lend an ear and you'll be there. You'll be their support system, which, we all need strong support systems this day and time. And so it's very vital, very important. We also need to avoid, giving out bad vibes. We need to be as positive as we possibly can with this person. We need to be brutally honest and just share with them, and if we have to go through, the next step of them getting help, whether it's calling 988, texting 988, reaching out to a local facility or their primary doctor to reach out to get help. This day and time, you've got to celebrate the small victories in life. If they've overcome one hump dealing with their mental health, celebrate that, because no matter how minor, it's a huge thing, and we need to be aware of that. Make sure, from time to time, if you get a chance, not only call or text them, but go visit them. You just never know what that might do for their self-esteem. Life can be hard. It really and truly can. And just knowing somebody's got your back makes all the difference in the world. You yourself need to learn about mental health. There is mental health first aid training. I will tell you, back in 2015 when I took that, I learned so much, and I try to keep mine up to date, my certificate with that, because it's very important. You know, I've had some losses in life due to um, struggles with mental health, and you know, it's tough. It really and truly is. So make sure to give practical support. You know, that is call and check in on 'em, you know, send them a note, those sort of things. Be there to support them. So, and ask other loved ones in their family or your family to help, because the more love and support you can receive from your family, extended family, only helps the process get better, because you know life is short. There are a lot of people that don't have a lot of blood family, that it's the relationships they make over time that's their family. And so we just need to take the time to check in on others, because everybody is important this day and time. Struggles are not small. Some may be look like they're small to you, but it may be humongous for that person going through that issue. And so it's very important that we as a nation can take the time to listen, check in on family and friends. You know, mental health doesn't need to be a stigma. We need to have conversations more and more. It's very vital, very important for our well-being. You know, take it from me, who struggles with anxiety, and you know, doing these videos and talking with folks, it really helps tremendously. You know, days like getting out and listening to nature and being able to get out and walk outside is a tremendous help. But the only thing that's not helping this morning are the swatting of the gnats. If you live in Southwest Georgia, you know what I'm talking about and referencing, and especially if you live south of the Mason-Dixon line. Um, you know, they come into play spring and summer, but usually the fall and winter they go away, which is a good thing. Um, it's just an extra protein, I feel like, sometimes when one gets in your mouth, and that's bad to say, but that's the way I try to look at it. You know, you got to look at every aspect, you know, with a positive vibe as much as you can, because the more positive we can throw in our lives, the better the negative won't seem so bad. So just take time, check in on others, you know, keep a check on your mental health, because you'll be glad you did. Everybody is important. Everybody struggles with something in their life, and as we close out Mental Health Awareness Month, keep it going. Have a good day, and I'm going to let you listen to a few seconds of Pond Life. Have a great week. This is Debra Cox, and it's Talk Thursday.